Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks for the 2nd of September. Today I want to just have a quick look at the S&P 500 and also the Trading Lounge portfolio as well, and then we'll look at stocks. So with the S&P 500 here, it's becoming more evident that we're in a third wave to the upside here. So that means our target for the wave 3 here is at the 4,000. So it pretty much means that with the NYSE and so on that we can move into our portfolio stocks. And I wanted to talk about the portfolio today, as you know, that I've been sort of pulling it together a little bit. So on the Trading Lounge website here, we've got the portfolio here. These are our trades here. So I'm still working on this particular still working on this particular tab here, which is our trades page here. So we're still doing testing for this, so that's not quite ready yet, but I'm getting there with it. But the portfolio one here, I haven't completed all of this here, but I just wanted to talk about some of these things today. So the first thing is the stock codes here. So as you may know, I've been pulling together about 130 odd stocks that we're going to use for trades, for the trades page here. There'll be shorter term trades and also the portfolio here as well. So for the portfolio here, our list here, our US stock code list, I've put the list in here, a bit rough, but I've put our 130 stocks in here, so you can now have a look at those. Secondly, I want to talk about the TL portfolio. So that's the Trading Lounge portfolio. And this is a portfolio that you can use yourself. So you can just create your own here. And I want to talk about that. So with the TL portfolio here, this would be this one here. So you'll be able to look at what we're doing with our stocks. And of course we've got the transactions and composition and performance and those sorts of things as well, so you can look at all of that sort of stuff here. So we're going to start using that. So this is where I'll be updating stocks in here. We already have quite a few already sort of happening, but we'll continue to add to that, and we're just going to do it in a big way. As I mentioned before, everybody's got different amounts of money, and so I thought that we would just use $1,500 per stock, but that's up to you, because that way if you are paying brokerage, the $10 or $20, I know you can get free brokerage out there. In Australia here, I want to keep my money on the shore here, so I'll use Commonwealth Bank because CommSec, because they've got a $250,000 security there from the government for that sort of thing. I don't want large amounts of money sitting in a brokeraging firm that can go bust, and they do in time. If you've been around long enough, you'll see that sort of stuff happen. So be mindful of that. I will have other accounts that are small amounts that will be used as well, where I pay no brokerage, but certainly happy to pay a little bit of brokerage to keep my money safe. So on your side of the fence, when you go to my portfolio here, let me just bring this up here. What will happen is I've already created these 3 portfolios here by using this tab here. But first of all, you will need to log in. But instead of logging in, what you'll need to do is actually register, because this particular application needs a separate login. So if you use your Trading Lounge login username and password to log into this, then that will make it really simple, because if you lose your password, then we will know what it is, but if you make a separate password and username and you lose it, then we won't be able to recover it for you. Okay, so when you log into Trading Lounge, make sure that you use the Trading Lounge register here using your Trading Lounge username and password, and if it gets lost, well then then I can help, but if you don't, then I can't help. So that's it. So yeah, you can just create portfolios here, and that's that. So that's all ready to go basically. Okay, so now we're going to look at some stocks for today. So today we'll be looking at 6 stocks, and as I mentioned yesterday, we've got over 130 stocks, so I'm going to do 6 or 7 stocks a day if I can. Some days I'll miss out, and I'll try and catch up and so on. But in a month, we should be able to get through most of these particular stocks, and we're looking for setups for trades, and I'm just calling the trades on the charts here for the time being until we get the trade page working. But for portfolio purchases, we can move in and start building that side of things. So this particular stock here is actually traded, I mean, most of the stocks we're looking at will be on the NASDAQ, but there are a handful that are on the New York side, New York desk. So this particular stock here is a global manufacturer of electronic instruments. So if the other point here that I want to make as well, if I go back to say the monthly chart here, just to build in, what I haven't done with these particular stocks so far is I've only really just been focusing in from the last fall here for these. Okay, I haven't gone back and done any counting here. I will over time. My job really for just, that's a monthly chart, this is a weekly chart here, this is the COVID correction, and I'm just really working with this particular point here for this. But as time goes on, I'll go through the 130 stocks based from these lows here and onwards. In some cases I'll go back further, and then my second time around I'll start adding and you know, working the rest of these particular trends. So I've got 130 to get 135 odd to get through. So I'm just going to be looking at it like this for the time being, and I'm going through alphabetically as well. So yesterday we started with A's with Apple, and now we're just continuing to move through all the A's here. Now this particular stock here, we can count a nice 5-wave sequence to this point here, very much like the S&P 500 actually, and this is on the same exchange. And we could look at this here. We could look at this in a couple of different ways here. We could look at it as wave 1 and 2 here, or we could bring this wave 1 and put it on the top here. But the main takeaway here is that from this high here to this low here roughly, then we need to see a move as a wave 3 longer than wave 1 here. So in this case here, we could be looking at this stock moving quite comfortably to 150 here. And now that it's just found a bit of support at the 100, then that makes that a nice move there for that. So we can actually make this a portfolio buy here. And what I've just been doing with that is just simply doing it, just putting this word here on it. So I don't really need a stop on because it's a portfolio situation. We don't need to do too much to this in terms of stops and so on, because we'd need to see a real change in trend for this to occur. And the market certainly may vibrate at this within a $5 range here, but otherwise this trend is not finished because it's just got further to go up. So at worst it could pull back into something like this here and then move up from there, but not a big deal overall for this particular stock. So that's that. Funny enough, the next one is Amazon, which we looked at that this morning, but we'll look at it again here. Just find the right shares here. We're looking for the A class shares here. So with Amazon here, I'm still keeping it as wave 1 here for this, moving up into this space here, and also this wave 4 here, copy that, can also be played out as wave 2 here for a much larger trend in play, which I think is the case, but that doesn't really bother us at this particular moment in time. This situation here will have 1 and 2 here, and well, we've got this on the 4-hour chart, so we can just go in here on the 4-hour chart and check this out. So yeah, but still we've got this as a trade here. So when I've got the green line here, it means a trade, not a portfolio purchase at this particular time in this one. But so this one here, we're just counting 5 waves up to the 4,000 here. I mean, this, funny enough, is trading the same price as the S&P 500. So we expect that to move up higher. So this will move up higher here as well. We don't have a stop on this, but what I can do at this stage is I can bring in a stop here for this. I just want to keep it out of the way. I'm not going to get clipped by, I'm not going to get stopped out by this wave 4. Something drastic would have to happen for that to occur. But it will spend time at the 35 here. We'll do a little dance across that, the classic trading levels pattern, which is this one here. So if this is the 3,500 here, you'll see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and a correction. And so if you're looking to go in, no point in going in here at this point, because time is money, and this correction is just burning up time. We want to be in over here for this if you want to re-add to that position there. So we just arrived there, a little bit like this here. So this arrival here, and eventually over here we can move in again over here. So that was, quite a bit of time. Well, what's time to a younger person is not as important as to an older person, but time is money. So that's the yardstick. So not ready to rock and roll over here just yet for that. And let's move on to the next stock. Get my list here. Takes me a second to get organized here. Let me just check on the daily for this first here.
I've put the Bitcoin one into Marcia Splash.
Let's go to the daily chart here. So, okay, this gives us a better clear picture. So this is moving along extremely nicely as well here. So I was counting this up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here. I may have to lift this up to a wave 1 over here for this. So I'm just going to drag this over here. I'm always making adjustments. I'm always sort of tweaking things. But the main point here for me is I'm always staying with the 5-wave structure, whichever way it is. So I just keep expanding up. So what I mean by that is that I'll see 5 waves here, right? And then there'll be a correction from that point. If there is a correction from that point, I note it as a correction, then and then the market's going to move up. Well, then this is a fractal here. So this fractal becomes 1 degree larger. So this is probably why I'm doing this here. And so on here. And also too, I want to see how things go, because if this is a wave 2 here and this is a wave 2 here, well then this wave 3 here, that should take us much higher here. That should take us way up here for this, That will take us up to the 400 there. The 400 is the next medium level here. In terms of the trading levels, you can go to our website. Even if you're not a member, there'll be under education, there'll be the trading levels videos there. It hasn't got everything there, but it's got some stuff there, enough to understand and work with. So yeah, look, this market's will continue to move higher, so that's all good. It will stop here a bit, because between 300, and that's not quite on the money there, but close enough now. So between, this is like 100 here, so all you need to do is be able to count to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8 here. That's the price ratio here in Fibonacci terms. So it does give you that sort of geometry here in that case, but it also gives us psychology as well, because 5 is the second strongest number. So, you know, if you were trading up here and you understand the trading levels and the numbers, then you know that, you know, there's going to be profit taking here at this. You know, we'll see a classic trading levels pattern, a small one within this space here, before we see further upside. Okay, so really, we're just, you know, this month, we're just really cruising through to have a look at what stocks I've got on the list and, you know, where they are, and if there's any trading opportunities, well, then that's fantastic. You know, we can work with that as such. So this particular stock here, this is a biotechnology in Massachusetts, is it? Yeah, so obviously it's a little bit news driven, and it's obviously got products in the pipeline. And what I'm sort of seeing here, if I just even go to, let's just go to the monthly chart here, so what I'm thinking here is that when stocks land, this has been moving down pretty fast through here, right? And this is really slow here. There may even be another little one coming in here on, you know, maybe making a new low here or coming sort of quite close to it. But it's at its low point here, and we are starting to see it stop into this space here now. So that's why I'm thinking that we've got, this doesn't count very nicely as 5 waves up here, I have to say. So I'm a bit cautious of this, but you can definitely see that it's, you know, finding its place, its value now, and it just needs to produce. Obviously it's done a few good things, but it's not there just yet for this, but we'll be keeping an eye on it. So we could count it up as 5 waves, but I can just as easily count it as corrective in that case. And I can also count this here too. If I go to the 4-hour chart, maybe I've started on this. Yeah, I have a little bit. So it's possible to count it as an ABC to the upside. And it is possible to count this down as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here for that. So we may just get a rally here on this, but this may be the low here. So on the $3 here, if we get some support sitting on this level here, well then by all means we'll be looking to go long at that point. It may not get us very far, it may just get us to the 61.8%, which will be around this level in this space from the 350 upwards here. But we'll see how we go with this. It's just, you know, it's on its lows, but that's all good. Okay, so the next stock is Arcturus Therapeutics. This is also a biotech company, and it specializes in RNA, which is basically genome editing. And in this particular case here, let's just go to the daily chart here for a moment. So this is where it is at the moment. So I really like this situation that we're in here at the moment. The market's had a trend up, and now it's correcting at 5, which is the second strongest number. So it's doing all the right things here. So what I'm just kind of figuring out here is I can see that this is down for 1 here and back for 2 here, and probably 1 and 2 and 3 here. So we'll probably end up with, you know, down here for 5 waves, and then 3 waves here, and then another 5 waves down here for this as such, and then the bounce up from that point. So that's really what we're looking at here for this. Unless we've got a simpler thing. If for whatever reasons, if this market comes up and finds support on top of this level here, then we will look to go long on that here. But otherwise, we'll be looking to purchase this down around the $30 mark at this previous structure down here for this. So, yeah, it is where it is, you know. So don't need to go into this too much. The next stock that we're looking at is Aero Environment. So this is an American defense contractor in California. So they're involved in aerial vehicles and so on. So this is pretty much all its chart here. So I'm thinking that from this high up here, we've had 1 and 2. Well, there's a nice 5-wave structure here, isn't there? So 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and the 5th wave down here, and an ABC for the B wave, and then another 5 waves down for the C wave here. And then it's starting to, you know, from the March lows, like everything, not everything, but a lot of things, it started to push to the upside here. It is possible. I've got wave 3 here as a possibility, so I need to check on that. But this particular pattern that's occurring at this level here, at this major level 8 here, is the classic trading levels pattern, which we can see here. So we've had the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. Let's check where we are within the pattern. So we've got, well, either one. We'll just call this one the arrival, the reaction here, the first high above the level, and then we look for, once we've got the first high above the level, we look for an A and a B and a C correction, and then we look for support back on the level, and then we can go long. Sure, we can go long down here if you wanted to, but that's where the risk is, because the 3 waves here could turn into 5 waves. So that kind of, my simple little method really helps us out here. So far here, we've got 3 waves here. This may just go up here as a wave 4 and then have a wave 5 here. And that will just be the A wave here, and then a B wave, and then a C wave here. But if this market pushes up here and finds support on top of the 80 here, we will go long. I don't need to, you know, I'm just interested in making money. So this is, we need that first high above the level, and then we can look at that. We can get a better position than that there as well. We can drop down to this point here and so on, but we can do that. But otherwise, this can drop down to here, then have a little ABC pattern here, and then have another little 5 waves down in this space here, so to speak. If that's the case, we'll pick it up down here, and we can do that because we've got an impulse wave here. So we can, as a portfolio hold, we can get it here. So it's just a matter of tactics. Just organise this back here, get rid of that. Alrighty, well that's 23 minutes for this video, so I've certainly waffled on enough, and I best leave it at that. And thank you for tuning in, and thanks for the support. Cheers.